One thing I was thinking about this recently. There are certain people who don't they just keep to themselves. They just keep to themselves naturally. They don't like sharing. They don't probe. They don't ask questions. They're just kind of going through life. And I think we were kind of chatting about. I'm like, bro, we humans are people. They need to be around other people.
Mm-hmm.
Like humans need to be able to interact, and there's many reasons for that. Love, obviously you learn from each other. If you observe children, you have a young child with a child that's a little bit older, the young child will start that older child, and but that never goes away, right? We continue to need that type of support from each other, and this ties into something that you said earlier that I hope people didn't miss, which was essentially you are the sum total of the five people or the people that you spend the most of your time with. And so we're talking about bad habits, but it gets a little more dicey when you start talking about the people that encourage bad habits, the people that in your life that are bad habits.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all
grab me some grab me some Chick-fil-A.
Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Those people, those relationships, those toxic trauma bonds that you done. So could you speak to the importance of having the right type of people around you, number one, but also like how do we identify when people aren't good for us?
Man, that has been like the bane of my life in a sense, because there's a lot of things that happen in my life where I'm unconsciously affected. Like I said, I come from Cincinnati. I come from the hood. And a lot of things that seem normal, that's why I guess I have a different perspective or a different mindset when it comes to a lot of things. And y'all be like, what?
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it like that. And so, like, coming from having personal experience, Chris and Steven and even Anthony, I saw you in the chat, Anthony.
He's probably gone now.
He probably popped in real quick.
Anthony probably, hey, shout out to you, Anthony. But I've been around these three people, for the bulk of my life. I've known Chris since I was like 14. And that's over 2 decades. I've known him for over 2 decades, and prior to like our relationship when we first met, my first meeting him, I didn't like him, and
How do you not like me?
I mean, you weren't always Chris James.
but
always been your brother though.
Yeah.
Oh, look what I'm started. But there was something about him that was different than the environment or the people that I was around. And so I naturally just gravitated towards him, whether it just be the wisdom, whether it just be a different perspective that challenged my knowing. I was just like, you know what? I've never thought about things the way he thought about it, but I am open to his perspective. And so a lot of things, even when it comes to just minute things like jewelry or fashion or just whatever, I would always be hesitant and say no, because that was drilled into me from the environment that I was in. But until I met Chris, I was like, you know what? All right, do it. Something that's probably funny, but it's just little something. I didn't wear V-necks. There became one point in time in my life, I was like, I'm not wearing no V-necks. And Chris was like, won't you just try it out? Put on a V-neck. I was like, nah, I don't do that. I was like, nah, I don't do V-necks.
I don't do the
like,
V-necks.
nah, I don't do V-necks. And but then, because for me, it takes a little bit. It takes a little bit, and then I clicked and I saw a V-neck. I tried it on. I was like, you know what? I kind of like V-necks
You
now.
got your little cut, man. It show your little chest a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Now I'll be looking for V-necks. Like,
Right.
What a V-necks at?
Y'all got this in a V-neck? Oh, okay.
Y'all got this in a V-neck.
Y'all got this in a V-neck? But but if it wasn't for that, or just being around people who are challenging me, I mean, that's not something crazy. That's something small, But also being around Steven, he has a very joyful and a jovial personality, where he's very, he's very expressive and he's a very happy person. So that just rubs off on you. And naturally, when people see me, they be like, yo, man, why you so mad? I'm like, nah, I'm not mad. This is me. This is me. You just stand around just like with a mad face. Like no one wants to approach a mad face. That's not welcoming, And so you get around, like I met Steven when we were living in New York. He has a very outgoing personality and something that makes you like, man, I want that. Like, I want that, And so I made a conscious effort to, like, when I'm, I guess an RBF, you could say, I would make a conscious effort to put a little smile on my face when I am not around people, just in general, just like when I'm by myself or I'm not interacting, I would just make a conscious effort to make a little smirk on my face because it's more welcoming. It's a more welcoming thing. So the people that you're around, they will definitely have a major influence on your life. If you hang around people who are eating horrible foods, you're going to be given into that temptations because horrible foods taste good, but they're bad for you.
They smell good too.
They smell good. They taste good. They have all these.
They look good.
They have all these chemicals that makes you attracted to it,
right?
But it's not good for you. So if you know what? I honestly feel like your body tells you. It tells you. Your body gives you that reaction that lets you know if you're doing something that's bettering yourself, or at least I did. Because a lot of times I would get into situations when I was growing up where I would feel like this ain't right. Like this is not right, but I would still stay there. But you would have that burning feeling, that butterfly feeling in your gut telling you like, I should not be doing this. But you do it anyway. And then something bad happens. And then after that effect happens, you're like, man, I knew I should have listened to my gut. And that happens all the time. So I feel like our body naturally tells us what we should do, but we overthink it and we'd be like, you know what? We ignore that feeling when we should just give in to what our body's naturally telling us. So being around good people and positive people will naturally influence you. Being around bad people will naturally influence you. So be cautious of your environment. And regardless if it's family, people you've known for years. There's people I've known longer than I've known Chris, who's had, we had good times in the past, but they are not beneficial to my growth in life. And just because you've known someone for a certain period of time, you had this particular connection, it does not mean that they have the right to be in your life. This is your life. You choose who you be around. You choose the places that you go, and you choose the things that you decide to get involved in with these people. So if you're around people who are doing things that aren't beneficial to your overall growth, that aren't putting you on your path of living in your purpose, you should not be around them. If you tell your friend that you're doing a fast and they're telling you something negative, you do not need to be talking to that person. You do not, regardless of how close they are, because they aren't in your body. They don't feel what you feel. You have these aches and these pains. You have these emotional disruptions that's happening because of the things that you're putting in your body. But they're just, you know what, it tastes good. They're tempting you. No, get rid of those people, regardless of how close they are, because this is your life. You only have one of these that we know of. We only know that we have this one reality that we're living in. So why not choose and be in the best path and be in your best purpose and do the things that are beneficial for you to live your life to its fullest? No one wants to be in pain every day. No one wants to be like, oh man, I wish I had a choice. I wish I could do this. No, you have a choice. Choose to live a life that's beneficial to your overall growth. Choose to live a life that's going to enable you to have fun with your kids in the park without being in pain and discomfort. And choose a life that's going to allow you to be comfortable in your own skin. Like, we do these things that are destructive to our overall growth, and we hang around these people and we stay in these environments that aren't good for us. You do not have to choose that. This is your life. You make the choices. Do not let someone else, just because you've known them for a long time, be the reason why you lead a life or you don't have the growth that you're looking for. Do not do that. So I would say be around good people, positive people. If it's not making you happy, don't do it. If it's causing you pain, get rid of it. It's simple. Simple as that.
Hi, Chris James here. I hope you enjoyed that clip, and if you did, don't forget to check out the full-length video available on our playlist called Inspiring Interactions. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and make sure to join our free membership at ahacommunities.com.